Alright, let me know how that works. Do we have video? Are we good? Yes, no, maybe, perhaps? We're good? Yes? Yes means we're okay? Hope. I hope. Yes, it twerks. That's my chair twerking. That's the best I can do in a chair. So what quest am I looking for again? So, like, really, it's just kind of random quests at this point in Moria, which are, you know, no real reason to do any of those, just except for the fact that they're on my list. But I've got a bunch of unfinished epic quests here, so I was thinking of maybe jumping onto some of those, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Mainly because the epic quests are actually really good. Like, it's worth playing through those, and if you're the sort that's not going to, is just going to do the play for free thing, then all you really get are the epic quests, so I don't want to spoil anything. But those are also some of the most entertaining quests to see. So I can either do that, or I can just continue to wander around in one region or another. Really, it's kind of up to you guys. I'm not sold on any particular place to go. So what do you want to see? I've got some Eregian quests. I've got some Lothlorian quests. I can do epics. What do you want to see? Give me some kind of vote. Otherwise, I'm going to head towards Rivendell, since that's kind of where this tends to, or at least where the epics go. So let's see. I don't want to go to Galtrev. Kind of want to go to... Actually... Yeah, there's a bunch of those I can't get to yet. Don't want the Shadowed Refuge. To Moria. What's Great Delving? Durin's Threshold. I don't think we have that here, do we? First Hall's the opposite way. I guess Dolven View might work. Let's try that. Alright, so I guess you guys are okay with Epic Quest then? Yeah? Since I've heard no speakage towards the otherwise. Durin's Threshold. Yeah, let's go. She gets pricey. Alright then, Max. All clear from you. Appreciate that. Let's do it. Let's see what we got. So this being my highest level character, any of the epic quests that are still outstanding are ones that I've never done before myself. So we'll see what it takes. Nax, as long as you're like, I know you're new to the game, as long as you're okay with not having anything spoiled for you, or I guess okay with seeing spoilers, then I think you're in for some cool stuff. The epic quests are really pretty legit. I know as a player, I'm really pleased with the way they're written and how they go and all that stuff. Um, and you'll also get to see some cool places in the world. I'm heading from here towards Rivendell, which is its own quest hub that you'll wind up revisiting multiple times at multiple levels. So that'll be kind of a home away from home to some degree. And it's also, a popular place for the folks that know the world. So much to go through before I'm anywhere near you are that I'm sure I'll forget and re-enjoy when I get there. Probably. That's to a large degree true. So let's take a look at this here real quick. So if you notice, this is Volume 1, Book 15. You'll also notice that we've got Volume 2, Book 4, Volume 2, Book 9, Volume 3, Prologue. The volumes, obviously there are many stages. Like if you just look at this, Volume 1, Book 15, each book within a volume has multiple steps to get through. So Book 15 is its own group of steps. So you've got at least 15 groups of steps to get through just with Volume 1. Now, you can do them out of order. You can, you're not required to do them linearly. You can do them as you come across them in the world. Whether or not you're high enough level to do them as you accept them is a different story. But there's, like, once you get to them, once you unlock them, once you expose yourself to them, you can do them. At least they're open to you. So there really isn't any kind of prerequisite for you to do them other than kind of as you go. As you expose yourself to them, as you discover them. That's the word I'm looking for. So they're a lot of fun. They're brilliantly written, and they're even better if you follow them as they're written. So, like, if you go all the way through Volume 1 and then hit Volume 2, like, they all lead into each other, and they also, to kind of tie into the books, you're following the fellowship from the books, and you're either paving the way for them or keeping the other scary stuff away from hitting them, or actually, as you get kind of further into some of the expansions and so forth, you're experiencing their, like, as they are, you're experiencing their experiences.
This is literally the greatest thing that has ever happened!
Thank you, Mr. Torg, and thank you, Half Pint. I know I've seen you on some other streams for Bloodborne and Arathard and just on Twitter, so thanks for coming aboard, and thanks for checking out the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, so really all I was getting to is the story quest, the epic quests. I need to go hit Rivendell, and I don't even know if I can get there from here. Probably not. The main deal is I need to get out of Moria, which I don't think I can do from here. You know what? I think I'm close enough to just run my ass out. Once I get out to Eregion, then I can hop some other taxis. But yeah, like, the epic quests they're really well written, and it's worth going through them. Also, if you I don't know if you recognize this from the books or the movies. Well, probably not without the door. But here's the door. Here's the black pool. And if you remember what was in the black pool, and not to disturb it, Actually, I can probably swim across this. And actually, I know I can. I won't hold you in suspense. But this is a bit of a spoiler. Don't do this. If you're lower level and you haven't quite done this before, don't do what I'm doing. Do as I say. This would otherwise be bad news for you. Trust me on that. And cheers me on that. I don't even remember. Oh, I'm swimming in circles. Trying to remember where the exit might be. And I don't think it's over there. It's been a long time since I've literally swam my way out of Moria on this side. Oh, you know what? Nah. We'll see. Just thought of an alternative, but it may not be any faster. Alright. So, when you're new to the game, and you're first kind of getting to this area, that is kind of how you go reach Moria, is through that stairway and along this path. There's a little camp over here that kind of introduces you to it, and it's really awesome because you get to go back in time and revisit the emergence of the Balrog. Like, you get to see and play what happens when you delve too deep. And it's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you get to play a whole other character in history. It's not you, obviously, because you weren't there, but you get to experience it as a dwarf that was there. So I definitely encourage you to check it out and see what happens. Because holy crap, is it intimidating. And this right here, the thing I just walked through, that is essentially the experience gate. Like, you've got to be, I think, level 50 in order to get through that. But if you look at all this mess, like, you've got to go, like, I'm down here, right? Hello, this is me on the map. And you've got all this to get through, and this is to the troll shaws, right? So bear with me here, right? The troll shaws, this is an entire other region. And if we step out from here, that's the troll shaws, and you have the Misty Mountains and Lone Lands and Breeland and Shire and Evendim and North Downs and Angmar and blah 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 blah. You've got a whole bunch of other stuff to get through before you even consider getting down here. And then once you do get down there, you know, you've got all of Moria, which is yoink over here. Where's the button? I don't know. There it is. So you've got all of Moria, which is like 50 plus. And even obviously into the 60s. Like, I'm 65 and I'm still doing crap in there. And then you get out to Lothlorien, and then Lothlorien is its own thing. And you got Mirkwood and all this other stuff, and it just keeps going. It really does just keep going. So, like, by all means, you know, just because you have, like, this area that's opened up as the main game, it's the original game, it's not like that's all there is to it. So, yeah, anyway, moving on. Let's see. There's gotta be a... Alright, hold up. Where's the... Where's the guy, the thing, the stable dude? I'm past him. Ah, there she is. All right, stable gal. Trollshaws, Rivendell, swift travel. Let's do it. So let's go see where Elrond lives. So unfortunately, this is not the grandest entrance into Rivendell. However, it is an entrance nonetheless. And if we actually, where are we going in here? So this is Rivendell. Like, I'm over here at the stables, and the last homely house is over here. And then we've got pretty much like its own little town and its own little thing to deal with. No monsters down here, nothing to deal with. This is all safe area. You can get up into the Misty Mountains from here, which is its own giant and troll-filled nightmare, along with Goblin Town, but we won't talk about that. What we're looking for is Glorfindel, which is over at the last homely house. And this run here from the stables to the last homely house is one that you'll get familiar with, and where you can go and where you can't go. It's a very common run. You'll do it plenty of times. And you'll probably break a goat's ankle. Or not, if you're lucky. So by the way, the goat. Normally you've got a horse as your mount. The goat is special in that it's you can't use a horse in Moria, but you can use goat. However, the only way to get the goat is to increase your status with the Moria folk, one of the two, and buy a goat from them. So it's essentially its own special mount. So like it's you can only use a goat underground, or when you're underground you can only use a goat. You can't use a horse. You can use a goat above ground, obviously, as I have been. Glorfindel is outside because I wasn't paying attention. Not anymore. Really, you can use a horse underground? That's new. Or okay, that's new to me. Yeah, when Moria was first released, it was goats only down there. Not a horse. But yeah, like the only mount that you could use in Moria was the goat that you had to get your rep up to buy. And I think it was with the... Who was it with? Rep. That was with the guards? Well, maybe it was the miners. I forget which one it was. Because I just, like literally just about an hour ago, got the... Like, I went out of my way. I think it was the miners. Maybe it was the miners. Does it say? No. I think it was the miners. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I think it was the miners. If you get your rep up with the miners, you can get the goat. The guards, if this is the case, whichever one gives me the goat, I got way back. The other one I literally just got tonight, maybe an hour ago. So if it was the miners that gives you the goat, I got that years ago, and about 60 minutes ago I got the guards. You get a goat now from the Moria quest line. Ah, okay. Do all the Moria intro quest. Really, you get a goat for the reward. Wow, that's like handed to you. All right, well that's cool. So meet Glorfindel. If you're familiar with the lore at all, he's one of the elf lords. He's about as hardcore as you get. Which you will notice the ring around the map here. So my hope. So when you're going through the game, if you notice this right here, hope is now 15, which means I've got a plus 5% to my max morale and 103% to my damage dealt. So the more hopeful you are, the stronger you are. When you encounter evil stuff, like particularly evil stuff, then you're dreadful instead of hopeful, and the dread reduces your max health and your max damage and so forth. Typically when you encounter some things, you'll get 1 or 2 or maybe 3 dread, or 1 or 2 or 3 hope, that kind of thing. Glorfindel being one of the uber badass elf lords, hope 15. Bing! One of the highest ones you can gonna get in the game without adding to it yourself. At least this is from my experience. There may be more and higher stuff out beyond Moria and into Rohan and all that, but up until this point, he's gonna be the most hopeful character that you can encounter, even above both Elrond and Gandalf. Having to run around more at level 45 because you only use sables at 50. Yeah. Thorn's goat. Yep. Thorn's goat, which was really, I mean, it was better than running, but still pretty slow. But once you get there, it works. Okay, Namleth. So, not gonna give this away, but this was a character from previous, or from earlier. I'm just gonna say that you encounter, and leave it at that. I'm gonna leave you to discover how Namleth plays into. Oof. Okay, he wants to take me to. Yeah. No, I don't want to do that yet. I'm not to that point yet. So yeah, Namleth is a character you encounter earlier in the game, and I'm leaving it at that. I'm also pretty drastically understating that. But that's cool. Let you figure that out. So I don't know if you guys are hearing it, but it's like I'm getting occasional squawks and squeaks with my audio. If you're hearing that and it's doing that for you and it's painful, I apologize, let me know, and I will do what I can to cut that out. Okay, sounds okay to you? Good. Yeah, just like I've been hearing like squirk, squirk, that kind of stuff through the audio. It's been a little been a little chuggy through here previously, so, but it's getting better. It's not so bad now. So it may have just been a momentary thing while stuff was loading. Alright, cool. Next, Half-Pint, thanks for the feedback. Let me know. And again, thank you, all of you, for joining me in... I'm not going to call this an adventure. I'm going to call this a misadventure. Mainly because I'm stumbling my way through it. So, thanks for being along for the ride. It's definitely better when I've got company. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of grinning just because it's good times. You know, I obviously don't want to ruin the game for anybody, so if there are spoilers involved and you don't want to hear them, please let me know. Speak up and say so. Otherwise, yeah, you get to watch you get to watch an old player that used to know what he was doing, that no longer has any real clue what he's doing. Wait, is this where I need to go? This isn't... No. This isn't Delisad. That is... Delisad's down here. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Forget that rock face that you ever saw. That's not there. Ignore this. That doesn't exist. That is not the rock face you're looking for. Misadventures are the best adventures. Thank you. I'm glad you agree. That's how I feel about it. And you know what? I've done that in my real personal life. Not even just like my in-game life. I'm the sort that's like, I have no idea what's going to happen tonight. Let's go, you know, get in over my head and see what happens. Sometimes I've gotten arrested. Sometimes I've gotten home safe. You never know how it's going to turn out. But you got to try it, right? You know, it's the kind of thing where if you're not willing to see where it all goes, you know, then come on. What's the point of living, right? Gotta live. Gotta see what happens. Even if it's bad. See where it all ends up, right? Still have no idea if I'm going the right way. I might have to jump off a cliff somewhere and die. We'll see. Oh, yep, I think it's about to happen. Can I get over there, though? Maybe. Oh, stupid rock. Really? Yeah, I don't think this is the right way. Not looking like it. Okay. Let's hit the river. I know we can get there from the river. So it's getting late on a Monday night. What are you folks up to? What are you up to tomorrow? I mean, not that it's getting late for me, but I'm silly like that. Still don't think this is the way to get to the river. Or maybe I'm right. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the zigzag down. So now my... Oop, alright, hold up. Maybe I'm wrong. Not this way. So what I would think would be accurate with a goat is I think you should be able to go up and down inclines that are normally too steep otherwise. Like, I can see a goat climbing or descending something that a horse can't. However, that's not necessarily the case. I think it'd be cool if it were true, but not so much. Also, it's really cool to see other people in the game. I was on Silverload before this, which was a pretty empty server. It wasn't entirely deserted. There were still some people around, but this should be it. Yeah, there were still some people around, but it wasn't as crowded as I would have liked. Essentially, it was rare to run into somebody else. Now that I've moved servers and that other people are moving servers as well, it's pretty cool to see other people that are just off doing their thing. It literally got to the point where it was a little lonely. Now, you can at least see other people playing. And so I credit Turbine for combining the servers for that reason alone, if nothing else. I mean, there are people playing the game. They were scattered around too many servers, and we've since got that kind of sorted out, which is groovy. Yes, the door is locked. However, there we go. Auto travel. Not gonna let you read it, because that would be a spoiler. I also didn't get to read it, but that's okay, that's my choice. I've got other characters that can. So yeah, unless you're gonna like go back and pause the video and read it on your own. Much, you know what, I feel bad too that I'm like showing you where the hidden refuge is. But away we go. Like, I'm feeling a little bit like River right now. Although my hair isn't as curly. Which one's which? What brings me here, this quest does. Speak to the refugees. Okay. Back out we go. Also, you have to jump through the doors. It's required. If you don't jump through the doors, then you're doing something wrong, and you're not really living. So just do it. Just get it done. Oh, and avoid the archers. Alright, those folk are in there. Let's go. So, yeah, no. Okay, fine. You want to go in your door anyway. So apparently what I'm doing right now is I'm looking for refugees from Angmar. And believe it or not, they have a particular look. However, it is a matter of finding where they're at. There's probably not any out here. I'm going to look anyway just to rule it out. Oh, or, you know, I'm full of crap. Yeah, he's all bounties. I don't need him. What do we got? And Oak Barton. No. Oak Barton is not on my way. Oak Barton, just to let you know, is down over here. So this is Oak Barton. At very south of Evendim, which in order to get there, I've got to come all the way down south. And is also at the very north of the Shire. So like up here, when you go to Evendim, like this is all your Shire business. And if you come up this road up here, that leads up here. So if you notice, Evendim is over here, and I am not. Actually, I'm in Evendim right now, which is up in here. Alright, so let's go find the refugees that are not, obviously, in other parts of the world. See, I got one more refugee to speak to. And it's being a little clunky. Ah. Many things, but no spy. Well, thank you for stopping by, Half Pint. I appreciate it. I will not begrudge you your sleep. Believe me, I'm a fan of sleep myself. So get some rest, sleep well, sweet dreams or none at all. Believe me, I know that otherwise rough dreams are bad. So have some sweet ones, and hopefully I will see you again soon, or at least chat with you otherwise. One of the refugees is missing? Oh? Not allowed to depart without my leave under penalty of death. That's the law. Easternmost pass into Angmar. Okay. Let's do that. And in the meantime... Oh, he wants Fornost. Fornost is a whole other ball of wax, so check this out. As soon as I step outside. So Fornost used to be one of the big bad instances. It has since gotten its title, you know, obviously kind of reclaimed or otherwise. But this whole area in here used to be kind of gnarly. And then you would come up in here into Fornost, and you used to be looking at it pretty much. It was minimum like an hour and a half raid, or well, raid is a particular term. You were looking at an hour and a half with the full group, which was 5 or 6, I forget which. So you were looking at it quite a while. If like that was the minimum, if you were doing like a speed run, it would take up to like 3 hours for the full deal to make a run through Fornost. From my understanding, it has since been kind of divvied up and divided into like smaller chunks, essentially. So it was like 3 1-hour kind of chunks, maybe. Nevertheless, it's still hairy, from my understanding. I never got to complete it, mainly because pretty much anything that required more than 2 people, I never really got to complete. You know, I was in a kin way back when I was playing, but it was never like we never did hardcore stuff. It was just like, oh hey, I'm on, you're on, let's go mess around. And it's divided in 4. There you go. You know, thank you, baby. Baby. That seems weird when I just kind of say it casually. Can I say juniors? Thank you, juniors. Otherwise, you know, thank you, baby. Just or baby. Like it doesn't. It's a thin line. But yeah, it's still one of the early, you know, rough areas, right? So, like, unless you got a group, unless you got some time to dedicate to it, don't go lighting that fuse, essentially. So now, as far as with this quest, I need to go find the missing refugee, which is the easternmost pass between the North Downs and Angmar, which is going to be this bit over here. So, what that means is I got a long walk or run, as it would be. So, come along for the trip. No cab fare is necessary. We're gonna do this together, and it's not gonna take nearly as long as you might think it would when you're looking at the map. It'll happen fairly quick. Probably not before I finish this. Or maybe it will. We'll see. Perhaps it's a challenge. But what's going to be interesting is that once we pass this ridge here, this ridge on the right, once we kind of get around that hump, the world is... The population of the world... Oh, crap. Crack. The population of the world is going to change a bit. We're going to run into some things that we haven't seen before. Like right now we got some birds, we got some bears, we got badgers, and that sort. You know, some lynx, or, you know, whatever you want to call them that makes sense to you, mountain lions or whatever. But we are going to run into some not quite giants. We got some largs. Right, we got some buffalo, essentially is what they are. Or, you know, yeah, what's the word? I forget the word. Anyway, we're heading towards them. We got some spiders coming up. Not a big deal. There's some of those in the east or west as well. But we don't have the giants, which we will encounter here, aside from base planting, Oryx. I apologize for having him along the way. He's new. He hasn't quite learned the moves. He's trying. He'll get there. But these are some of the gentlemen that we're gonna meet. Some of them are not so friendly. Some of them are, and that's the challenge for this area. Is we've got some villages of essentially good giants, bad giants. And those aren't even technically giants, but they're taller and bigger than me. So I'm going to call them giants. So like here's another one. I mean, look at them. Aside from the scoliosis, they're the scoliosis and the lack of sleep, judging by the bags under their eyes. They've got their villages, and they're here doing their thing. But nothing against them, except when they just attack. Being gray, they're not going to attack now, but they can and they will to those folks that are showing up earlier. Now, I don't quite remember specifically what the requirements were for to get this strength and morale. I'm pretty sure it required me to defeat like evil men or something like that. But I do remember that over in here is where I completed that. And I think I needed, I don't know, some stupid amount of them. 500 or some crap like that. Because, man, it's a racial quest. You're supposed to start it, at early level, and you're supposed to achieve it at late level. So it's not the kind of thing that you're supposed to, get through easily or quickly. But I'm pretty sure it was over here where I wound up completing it. Now, still have a little bit further to go to get to where I need to be. But what I'm getting at is essentially like this area is like high 40s to level 50. Let's see, 29. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's where I wound up. This is where I wound up at like 45 to 50. But apparently these guys are a lot lower than that, so I'm probably not remembering correctly. See, notice the red rather than ring here. I've got dread of 4. My unease has grown strong, so I'm not comfortable being here. And if you'll notice, there's some stat and skill effects in play. So notice this is dread 4. This is fairly strong for just wandering around the world and not encountering, any particular baddie. So if you compare that to where I was at with the hope of 15 with Glorfindel, you can kind of realize that Glorfindel is like a big cheese, really. So let's see, where is... alright, here's the refugee. Too far away. You will not be stopped. Oh, you're actually going to do this. You poor creature. It didn't have to be this way. Especially with like that X-Men rogue kind of streak in your hair. Like, we really could have talked this out. That's a shame. Alright, back to Estelden. Yeah, so regarding the dread that I've got, right, there's dread 4. And I've got this much of an effect on my morale, my hit points, meaning that whatever, what is that, 1/8, 1/7, somewhere in there. Meaning that, like, my max is only 1/7 or 1/8 or whatever the hell it is of my potential, my possible. So the more dreadful things get, essentially, the more terrified you are, the less strong you are. Which, can I do that mounted? Yes, I can. So yeah, that little bit there is something that, if I remember right, I think I got from being like an early adopter or some crap like that. It's largely ineffective, but it's better than nothing. Alright, so all the way back to Estelden, which, you know, really isn't that far, but again, you'll notice we're going from wargs and aurochs and giants and spiders to lynx and bears. I remember spending a decent amount of time up in here, I think, hunting spiders and wargs. I think that were those were the two deeds in this area that I spent time doing. I may be wrong, but I think that's what it was. So I will say this about the epic quests, is there is a good amount of running back and forth. If you take the time to read, you know, the different, I guess, quests and the messages and all that, yada yada. If you take time to read it, it all makes sense as to why you're running back and forth. It gives you a good reason to. I'm gonna have to kill this guy just because he's a signature and I haven't killed anything in a while. So yeah, it gives you good reason to. What I'm getting at is that if you have a hunter in your group, they can make all the difference in the world. Because hunters can travel essentially from campfire to campfire. And if I'm not mistaken, from even more, not populous, even further than that. So if you're not a hunter, you've got to take the stable masters back and forth and so forth. If you are a hunter, then you've got the option of pretty much traveling from anywhere, wherever you're at, to specific locations. And those specific locations happen to be campfires or towns. So you can definitely whip yourself around a lot easier than you can without a hunter in your group. Have hunter will travel, exactly. Yeah, Junior knows what's up. That's pretty much how it goes. Oh yeah, by the way, real quick, skirmish camp. So let's take a look here real quick. Skirmishes, marks and medallions. These are a whole other different kind of currency, which, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be, you get marks and medallions from doing different, not the right thing. Marks and medallions from doing different instances. And there are different ways that you can find specific instances and so forth. I have not done any of this yet. So I really, truthfully, don't even know how the UI works, or how this is all split up and how this does its thing. But you get these marks medallions here, which I literally just got from playing on my own, just doing my own thing as you go. And then you can spend them over here in your skirmish camp, which gives you, you know, pretty equipment, pretty housing stuff, pretty this, that, the other thing, pretty that, pretty the other, cosmetics, yada, 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 and some actual, like, physical armor, or things that matter. But for the most part, it's usually just stuff that looks pretty. When you're a poor hunter, yeah. So that's just, I'm gonna point this out just real quick. Like Junior says, there's a really good means of making a living as a hunter, going from one place to another and bringing people there with you. So what you do is you show up, let's say in Estelden here, where we're at, and you join a group of people that want to go from there to, you know, Lonelands, which is down here. And you join the group with the hunter. The hunter goes, I'm going to go here, clicks essentially a trait or an ability down here in the menu. And everybody that's grouped with the hunter goes to the destination. So yeah, it is very much Hunter Airlines. It's a great way to get around. And it actually is a good way to make legitimate money. You know, saying, all right, yeah, you know, give me 20 silver for everybody in the group, or, you know, whatever. I don't know, you know, make it up, whatever your thing is. It's viable. Trust me, it's viable. And at this point, I'm just selecting the thing with the most resale value. Okay. Still remains hidden. Great. So, Delasad is an interesting place. It's very pretty, but also kind of depressing. Like, you've got this lovely little grotto in here, but it's also a prison, which is unfortunate, especially given who's stored here. Like, that's its own kind of heartbreaking thing. And you'll find all that out in the earlier books of Volume 1. Oh, it's freezing again? Curses. Shakes fist at sky. Alright, I will restart the stream here in a moment. Okay, now that I'm here, yeah, if it's freezing again, bear with me. Let's do this.